Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's MAZZ back again today with another video for you guys. Today, once again, we have the TRX4 Sport on the channel. And as I mentioned before in a few other videos, there was a couple upgrades I wanted to do to it. And actually, it's just some cosmetics as well. So today, we have a couple packages that came from MAZZ Hobbies and Larry's Performance RC. We'll get right into them. So first, from Larry's RC, we have a couple black diff covers, front and rear. So we have those guys. And then from MAZZ Hobbies, we also purchased some SSD overdrive gears for the front axle. So a ring and pinion for the front axle to overdrive it. It's a 12 tooth, 33 tooth setup. I believe it's like 12%, correct me if I'm wrong, but I just want a little bit. This is a trail truck, but I do want a little bit of extra wheel speed up front just to help it with those uphills and stuff like that. So I'm going to put these in today as well. So getting into it, what I do usually is I try to take stuff apart in as big of chunks as I can. So like, for instance, I don't want to take wheels and tires off because I need to take the portal boxes off to get the dog bones out of the carrier in the middle. So that's as simple as taking the top and bottom 4 portal box screws out, taking the steering link out, and I can pull that all apart. So today, we're gonna get to use our favorite electric screwdriver, that Metabo HPT with the MIP speed bits on it, just to speed things up a little bit. And so first, we'll go ahead and knock this steering link off. We'll get this apart. I always break it loose a little bit before I do it. I do not ever fully tighten my screws with this screwdriver. Only use it for disassembly and getting long screws put back in. So that takes off our steering link. Also, our steering link to the servo, we can leave it hanging. I'm going to, as you can see, we got a big toe out problem here. We'll flip her over, you know, like you used to work on your bicycle back in the day. And we'll take our lower screws out of the portal box. It has a spacer in there as well, little screw with a plastic bushing. Same for this side. So we'll get that little, don't lose your little bushings. There we go. And actually, that's not a plastic bushing, that is a metal bushing. My apologies. Now we got a toe in problem. So that'll pull that whole assembly apart. Didn't even have to take the wheels and tires off. Make sure you catch your little rolling away spacers. Same for the other side. Just one more screw. That will get that whole assembly off as well. So just that quick, by just breaking it down by assemblies, you can get something apart. And I know on these covers, as you can see, there's no screws on the front of it. The screws are all going in the back side. So you can see here, here, and 2 on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off camera, and when I come back, I'll show you what I had to take apart to get to them, if I did have to take anything apart. If not, we'll jump back into it from there. All right, we got the screws removed from this, and the one other thing I did have to do that, because those 2 screws are way down in there and they're kind of at a real steep, if you're trying to put this or a hand driver in, you're at a real steep angle going to the screw. Simplest way to do it, pull this side off. It'll rock the axle back. As you can see, it was like this. It rocks the axle back just enough. You can get that screw, and there's one on the other side that the pinion is blocking right now, or the drive shaft is blocking. But take those out, and then we already had it fall out, so we'll just show you. But since we have everything out, you can then grab and pull out the axle cover, and then let's grab something to put this on. We'll use our little dilly deal here. This has got a bunch of grease on it. So we'll then just pull our assembly out from the front, and there are bearing dropped off there. There are 4 screws on here that will take this ring off of the spool. So we have that, and then let me grab something to wipe my hands. We also have to pull the drive shaft off the yoke so that we can get the pinion out. So as simple as, I think it's a 1.5. So we'll take our handy dandy 1.5 MIP. We'll get her in there. Pull this retaining screw out. Be able to pull the drive shaft back and off, which will then allow us to push. You push from the back, you'll be able to take a pick, and if you can see it, you just pull your pinion out from the front. Trying to do this through the camera, guys. Trying to do more work on there. So there we go, she's out. I just got to get her. So there you go. That's your factory pinion. And simple as reverse for putting it back together. Does not take very long. Just something, like I said, find your way. What's the easiest way, or what is the most efficient way to get it apart without taking apart every single little sub assembly. So I'll come back to you once I get this ring off, and I'll show you how it goes on the other gears, and then we'll go back to assembly. We got the ring off of the spool. Those 4 simple screws came out very easily with a 1.5. So at this point, you're going to want to take your new gear. So this is our SSD gear. This is our factory gear. We're going to pull that gear off, and as you can see, it's keyed. It's keyed on both sides. And same thing, same way it came off. we're going to put it back on. Simple as that. So we'll get these 4 screws in here. These guys, get them started. Grease all over everything. Gotta keep a rag around for this. So we'll get a couple. Oh, sorry for knocking that camera for you guys. I know y'all enjoy that. It's the worries when you're working around the camera. So we take this guy. We're gonna start a couple screws in it. And I don't have any of this blue Traxxas style grease, so I'm gonna use something a little different. Still will work perfectly fine. It's just not blue. You know, Traxxas loves their red and blues. You know, we're getting rid of two birds with one stone on that today. We're getting away from the blue grease, and we're getting away from the red diff cover. So we get those guys screwed in there. Just need to snug them down, nothing crazy. Don't go overkill on it. It's like anything, it'll ruin your day. You break a screw or tip of a driver, which these MIPs are rugged, but if you break them off, it'll ruin your day. So just take your time. No need to put 42 ugga-duggas on it. Just, you know, just snug it up. Make sure it's sufficient. And you can fill it bottom out, and then all you need is a little snug. Maybe a half a ugga-dugga. Got one more to go. These screws already had Loctite on them, so I did not redo it. I should have, you definitely should. But I'll be in and out of this thing enough that I'm not too worried about it. So there, we got those done. At that point, we'll set that to the side. So I grabbed this is some TLR high pressure black grease. This is what I use on the diffs on the short course truck. So I assume, and this is just maybe me being a big dumb redneck from North Carolina, I assume if it's good enough for some 3S fun on a short course truck, that it's more than fine for the ring and pinion as well on a 10th scale crawler. So we'll go through here and put us just a little bit. You ain't got to go overkill. It's gonna get squished out anyway and move it around in there. So you don't have to gob it on there. Just get you a good little light covering of the diff or the ring gear. Set this down and spin it a little bit more. And we'll go ahead and set that to the side. Put just a touch on our pinion. Get our fingers all dirty. We'll rub it all around. That's where it slides into the bearing. Put the rest of it on the teeth. Just get a good coverage. Like I said, this is going to mate with the ring gear, so there's plenty of diff grease on there, or, you know, the high pressure grease on there. So it's going to all go together. You're going to slide this back in through the bearings inside. It comes out the back side here. Simple as that. You're going to take your drive shaft and you are going to find where the hole is. I'm going to slide it through there. We're then going to take our set screw and put that little guy back in there. So let me get that on there. I have greasy fingers. It's cleaner you can stay doing this, the better. So we're going to get And this has a plastic cover on it, so you want to make sure that that plastic collar is moved back to where the threaded hole is showing. And then that way, that's what I love about an MIP. You can hold them upside down. We get it back in there, get it started. There's no shims or anything on the factory one, so just a heads up. Give it a half a ugga-dugga. It's already got Loctite on there. That is a clean part, so that Loctite will still work fine. It's a pre-applied Loctite from Traxxas. And then we're going to take you have a big bearing and you have a small bearing for your pinion or your ring gear. So your big one's going to go on this side, on the back side of the ring gear, and your small one is going to go on the top of the spool. And this is all going to get flipped over. Just trying to get situated. This gets flipped over and it slides right into place and engages perfectly fine. So get a paper towel here. Maybe that'll stay. We'll get our area cleaned up. We don't need all this greasy stuff in the way. So move it out of the way so you're not knocking stuff over and getting a mess. And we're going to take one of our new black plastic diff covers and get that bad boy out. Don't know where I put my knife. There it is. We'll take our black plastic diff cover. That guy will go on with the ring, the big side on the left when you're looking at it upside down. So just like that. That'll contain everything. We'll take our screws, which are these socket head Allens. We'll get a couple of them started with our electric screwdriver. Like I said, I don't go all the way tight on them. I just want it to hold it in place. I'll go back and get the final torque, the final ugga-dugga with a hand driver. And having that link out gives you just enough room to get in here. Well, you can't drop the screw first, you know? So take it, we'll get it started with a hand driver. That way I'm not trying to fight with that big screwdriver there. Also doing this where I can't see, so right there. We got it started. We'll go back to our electric. She's in there. Get that out. We'll go back through. Let's put our, you never want to leave grease open on your workbench. You'll end up getting grease everywhere. So put a cap on it. We'll go back through. Start with this hardest one to reach first. Just 2 fingers just to snug it. Make sure everything's good and tight. That's German, I think. Good and tight. So there we go. Fill them bottom out. I'm really cautious with plastic. I don't want it to strip. So there we go. Diff cover is on. We can then take this link and our screw for that link and get it lined back up in the receptacle. Take our little screwdriver here, put that guy on one. So to save y'all a little boredom, I went ahead and put this all back together. Got everything finished up. I think the black diff covers look way better. This video's gotten a little longer than I want it to be. Red diff cover looks like crap. Looks like you tried to spray paint 10 horsepower onto your diff cover in your garage. This looks clean and classic. Got those overdrive gears in there, completely done. So y'all see just how easy that is. If I can do it on video, y'all can do it watching the video or on your own. But like always, guys, tell me something funny down in the comments. Appreciate y'all tuning in every video. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. And until next time, guys, y'all have a good one.